Hey everyone, welcome back. So today is Monday. We're going to talk about obviously Bitcoin, see how it did today on the markets, along with Ethereum. We're also going to take a look at the miners, see how they did perform today as well. We do have some Bit Digital news, Sphere 3D. Also, they provided their July update, so we're going to go over that as well. And then we're also going to take a look at some Iris and Marathon news. Marathon provided their 10Q, but I still don't have the full release yet that was provided to the SEC or that hasn't been filed yet. So we're waiting on that. So we'll get into that a little bit here. And obviously, we'll cover everything that we can. So as always, not financial advice. You guys know the drill here. I'm investing in the following coins and companies for full disclosure. And let's get into the first one here, which is obviously, where'd it go here? Let me pull this up, make this correct. All right, here we go. So here it is. So we're going to look at Bitcoin. Obviously, right now, it's at 23,825 roughly on the daily chart right now. So it is looking pretty good right now, actually. We're about the same spot we were before here, so there isn't that much concern as far as going down right now. We might be going up a little bit more, but it is obviously battling with the 23,800 line here, which is our resistance here. And you can see that we did go above it today. You guys will probably be watching this in the morning on Tuesday, so things may change by then. I'm recording this kind of late. It's probably around 10:30 at night right now. Kind of busy day right now, so I'm trying to catch up a little bit on this stuff. So yeah, right now we are looking kind of flat on the RSI and price right now. So not a lot of concern on the daily chart. On the 1 hour chart, if we look at it, we can see here that we are just slightly, obviously, above the 23,800 mark, which is good. The more times we battle with it, the more likely that we are to fall above it, but we can also fall below it as well. So go up or fall below it. But the RSI has come down. Obviously, we were overbought here in this territory. We're around 24,000, which is obviously a nice little jump that we've had here over the last, let's say, 24 hours or so, which is good. But we want to see, obviously, price stabilize a little bit and go up more than it is, obviously, going down. Ethereum is at 1,777 right now on the 1 hour chart. It's also coming down a little bit. We had a weird wick here down to about 1,724. And we've obviously came back up above, went back up and tried to go back up a little bit more, but obviously came down a little bit right now. So that's where Ethereum is right now. Let's take a look at Annie. Annie finished out. Let's do the daily chart here. Annie had a nice wick today, obviously up above 80 cents on the day. It did finish up today at 1.6% up on the day to 72 cents. Argo blockchain was up 9.78% to 50 cents. Bit Digital was up 4.52% to $1.62. Bitfarms was up 4.32% to $1.69. CleanSpark was up 6% to $4.94. Cores was up 2.75% to $2.89. DigiHost was up 7.61% to $1.33. DMG was up 6.77% to 30 cents. Greenwich was up 12.32% to $3.83, which was pretty good on the day. So it's been having pretty good, the last 2 weeks has been kind of going up a little bit in price. It's getting a little close to being overbought here, but it might be because of obviously the earnings report coming up here. So maybe people are buying before it a little bit. Hive was up 9.94% as well today to $5.53. So it's had a nice run up here as well in the last, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days. So last 2 weeks. We had one red day on the candle mark, but otherwise we've been in the green. Hut 8 was up 5% today to $2.50. Iris Energy was up 14.56% today as well to $5.43. So a nice day for them. And why did it go all the way down here? Iris, where's Iris? Lexfolio was up today 23.9% to 12.5 cents. Marathon was up 1.83% to $14.43. And Mawson was up 7.18% to 91 cents today. Riot was up 5.32% to $8.71. Stronghold was up 12.3% to $2.83. So that's kind of bouncing back a little bit. And that's it for the miners. All right, so let's get into the news on the miners, and we'll look at some of the information that I have for them as well. So the first one up to bat is Sphere 3D. They provide their Bitcoin production update for July, obviously. So the company produced 12.78 Bitcoin during the month. Total Bitcoin holdings grew to 62.03, which is good. Operations achieved 138.5 BTC per exahash efficiency, and they do have obviously customs delays on miner shipments. So let's get into that, some of that stuff. So CEO comments, during the month we secured hosting space with Compute North to host our new S19 J Pros at their new Wolf Hollow site in Granbury, Texas. This should provide Sphere 3D solid long-term hosting options, obviously, so that's good. And the shipments of the 4000 S9J Pros discussed in last month's update are set for delivery and installation at Compute North's location beginning in August. Logistical challenges with the U.S. Customs are delaying the final delivery past the expected July 2022 delivery dates. They have been working, obviously, trying to get that cleared up along with their provider of those, and we'll see if they can get those in August. Also, considering current market conditions and the market price for the S19J Pro miners addressed by the agreement, we are revisiting the terms of the agreement with BitFuFu. So obviously they're trying to get a little bit better price on those, as the price has come way down from where they were back in just earlier this year and late into last year. So the bad thing is obviously the timing and volume of any future deliveries with respect to the 60,000 unit purchase order are expected to be impacted by these discussions, and upcoming payments on the contracts are not currently expected to be made. So they're obviously holding off on paying on those until they can obviously reach an agreement as far as what the price should be on those miners. They can also not make any assurances as to the outcome of these discussions. However, we remain optimistic that a timely and equitable resolution can be reached. As part of our discussions, BitFuFu is working with Bitmain on behalf of the company. So hopefully they can get that resolved. Obviously, it'd be nice for them to get a discount on the miners, or at least get them at the price that they're supposed to be at right now. With Bitcoin being so low, the miners are going for like 3,500, 4,000, somewhere around there, give or take a little bit, maybe even less than that now. I haven't followed up on that, so it's obviously a huge change from where they were around 10,000, 11,000 earlier this year, late last year. So huge savings there, so that would be good to see as well. All right, so a quick update on that. Let's get into my spreadsheet that I have for them, and we'll make this pretty quick. So Sphere 3D is here. So it looks like they are still at 100 petahash right now. Future hash rate is about 6,000 with those, or 6 exahash with all of those 60,000 ant miners that are supposed to be purchased, depending on how they can work it out with Bitmain to get a better price on those. We may have a reduction in that, or they may stay the way they are right now. Shares outstanding is about 65 million. Stock price is 72 cents. Market cap is about 46.9 million right now. BTC HODL is at 62.03, which is valued at about 1.4 million currently, and HODL market cap is about 3.14% of that, and each share has about 2 cents of HODL position in it right now. Looking at their BTC mined, they did mine a little bit more than they did in June. They had 12.19 in June, 12.78 obviously in July. That equates to about 297,000 in revenue for them for the month of July, compared to 243,000 in June. May was obviously a better month for them. They had 400,000 in revenue on that month. Going down here, it looks like they didn't sell any. I'm getting a positive here. I think the numbers just don't add up a little bit. We're off by 0.02 Bitcoin, which is $466, which I don't believe is anything to worry about, or I think it's just what they provided and what we have is just off slightly on that. Not a big deal there. Miners, like I said, they didn't install any miners, so they're pretty much flat right now, and they've been flat for the past since January, it looks like. January they had maybe a little bit less than that installed. We had them only mining for 3.6 days. February 8.2. March we had them at 15.6 days. April 28.2. May was 30.5 days. June was 29 days, and in July we have them at 30 days to get them up to that 298,000. I have them at 299 right here on these. So we're pretty close to that as it is. And institutions has changed a little bit. They've gone down a little bit. So 43 compared to 46 in June. 7.4 million shares compared to 7.6 million shares in June, and then 11.48% owned compared to 11.88%. Buy ratings, we still have the same one buy rating, no hold, no underperform, no sell. And price targets are still the same at $10, and they've been pretty much the same for the past 4 months as we've been tracking them. Going back up here to what their current revenue is, we're looking at this current quarter, which would be Q3, would be about 921 million if everything stays the same. And we're using the last 3 quarters for them, which we actually have the first quarter and the second quarter, which we're estimating here to be about 1.8 million. I was way off, obviously, on the first quarter of 28%. I had them at 544. They came in at 700,000. So we'll see where they actually come in at for the second quarter on this. And hopefully we'll get a little bit closer to this number than we were here. And with them providing monthly updates, that helps out to better gauge as far as what their performance is and what possible revenue is as well. So total right now, we're looking at about 2.741 million. Based on that, what we do know, at 50% net income from gross revenue, we're looking at about 42 cents share price right now at 20 PE. At 75% net income, we're looking at 63. I think they're a little bit overvalued right now, but I think that's based on their future potential growth right now. So they're getting a little bit more of a premium, as it seems. So obviously, the questionable thing is the deal that they work out with BitFuFu and Bitmain. If they can get that to work out and actually get these miners at a better price, that's a good thing. If they can't, they're obviously going to be getting less miners possibly. So that's a bad thing. Something to be mindful of. So that's it. Otherwise, pretty much a flat month, flat 6 months or so for them. So they really need to get miners installed in order to continue their growth, I think. All right, so that's it for them. And let's get into the next one, which is BitDigital. BitDigital actually had a really good month for July, and let's get into it here. So corporate highlights for July 2022, they earned 142.5 Bitcoins and 111% increase compared to the prior month, which is really good. So they're starting to obviously get their miners plugged in with their hosting providers. And they've been struggling here for quite a while to get those plugged in. When they did get them plugged in, they had problems with the facilities getting power shut down because of fires or whatever. I believe that was the case. And they earned 0.5 Ethereum, so we're not even counting that because that's going to equate to, what, 1,500 or so. Not even that, 1,000, around $1,000 or something like that. So that's marginal right there. Treasury holdings of BTC and Ethereum were 889.1 BTC and 2,176 of Ethereum, with a fair market value of about 20.7 million. And during the month, the company finalized an agreement for 5 megawatts of hosting capacity in Canada. The facility utilizes an energy source that is primarily hydroelectric, which is good, and miner deployment. So during the month of July, the company continued to work with hosting partners to deploy miners. 31% of its currently owned fleet of 12,044 Bitcoin miners and 6 Ethereum miners representing 1.9 exahash in Bitcoin and basically 0.0 terahashes in Ethereum miners were deployed as of July 31st, which is good. So another quick little update here. Let's take a look at the numbers that I have for BitDigital. And this was actually a really good month for them to getting stuff installed. And here's what we have so far on them. So about 82 million shares out, stock price of $1.62, market cap is about 133 million right now. And they are at 1.9 exahash right now. Future hash rate is about 2.7. So they are about 39% currently installed from fully being deployed. Number of miners is 12,290, which is close to what they have. And hash rate average is about 88 terahashes right now. HODL position is 889.1, which is valued at about 21 million right now, and that's 15.83% of their market cap to HODL position. And each share has about 26 cents worth of HODL in it right now. So looking at their BTC production here for July, obviously 142.5. June was obviously 67.6, which is obviously a huge increase for them. So this is a great job by them getting those miners installed, which they've needed it for a while because they've been kind of bouncing here. Let me see here. Hash rate, they were at 542, 573. They went down to 457 in May. June was 760 petahash, and obviously a nice increase here in July. So that got them to 3.321 million roughly in revenue. And we're pretty close to that. We're at 3.37. I may adjust the day here or two on these just to get them a little bit closer to the 3.321. Obviously, a nice increase here, 110%. on it. They sold, it looks like, about 114 BTC during the month for possibly a revenue of 2.6 million roughly on it, based on what they had the prior month, what they have now, and obviously what they mined. That's kind of what we're coming up here as that. And here's what we installed as far as miners for July. This is just our best guess estimate right now. So we're looking at, it looks like we installed possibly 3,300 of the 100 terahash miners, which gave them about 330 petahash more. And then we also added, that's it. That's all we added here. So this was obviously a nice increase there, which got them to the 1.9 exahash, 1.09 exahash, and 12,290. I think they had 12,200. Yeah, I think it works out. Like I said, it's late. I might be off on one or two things, but I think it's correct. So institution-wise, let's take a look at it here. Institutions did decrease to 79, so it was a decrease on 3, but shares increased to 13 million, which is nice, obviously, and percentage owned increased as well to 15.83%. We still only have one buy rating, and the price target is still $4, basically, for the high, average, and low. Looking at the revenue here, so current quarter, we're looking at about 10.1 million, roughly. Last 3 quarters is about 28.182 million. Combined, we're looking at 38.3 million in revenue. 50% net income from gross revenue. We're looking at about 19 million on that. And if we're using a PE of, well, we should probably use a PE of 20, like we do for everybody else here, possibly. They could be at $4.65. At 50% net income, 75% net income would be $6.98. So $4 is pretty close to what I have, as you know, some of the analysts are one of the analysts is thinking, at least, for the price target for it. I do think that they would probably get about a 15 PE right now, because their growth is limited to only 2.7 exahash from 1 exahash where they are right now. So between $3.49 and $5.23, I think is a fair value for them someplace like that. If Bitcoin starts going up, obviously we could get up to the 20 PE ratio, which would obviously put them up to 698 and 465, somewhere in between there. But it also depends on where Bitcoin goes. So that is it. Obviously a great month for them. It's nice to see them actually getting the miners installed. They've been having obviously a big challenge ever since they moved operations from China last year. And it's actually nice to see them get ahead a little bit here. So this was obviously a great month for Bit Digital here. So that's it. Let's take a look at some of the other stories. Iris Energy. So I'm still waiting on Iris Energy to provide their numbers here. If I'm looking at it, Iris, I still don't have the numbers for obviously July. We still don't have DMG, GreenEdge, and Luxfolio. Luxfolio hasn't even provided their June numbers yet, so we're still waiting on that. Mawson, and obviously Stronghold's not going to provide theirs. They only provide theirs quarterly. So we're still waiting on a couple of those to provide their numbers. So here's why I mentioned that, because they did obviously because they're doubling their operating capacity to 2.3 exahash. I just don't know what they had at the end of July to figure out where they are right now. So that way we can get a little bit better estimate as far as what they could be potentially earning for their revenue is, basically. So today they announced it has approximately doubled its operating capacity to exceed 2.3 exahash, so we don't know exactly where that's at. The company recently energized the remainder of its first 1.5 exahash, 50 megawatts at its second operating site in Mackenzie, British Columbia, which marks delivery of phase 2 of the project. Both initial phases have been commissioned ahead of schedule, which is great news. Phase 1 was obviously 0.3 exahash, 9 megawatts, and that was done on April 13th. Phase 2 was 1.2 exahash, 41 megawatts. That was obviously finished up on August 5th, and the original target date was on that one was Q3. So obviously, way at the end of Q3, so 2 months ahead of schedule. So that's good. The company's next site in Prince George, British Columbia, also remains on track to be energized by the end of next month and is expected to add a further 1.4 exahash or 50 megawatts, increasing the company's near-term operating capacity to 3.7 exahash. So if they can get obviously those energized, miners installed, and everything else, that's going to be a really nice growth. But like I said, I'm still waiting on their July update to see where they were, what they added here, possibly by August 5th, which is so we can get a little bit better numbers on it. So once I get that information, we'll obviously include these in that as well. In addition, the company continues to work through deployment options for its remaining 2.3 exahash, right? So they want to get to 6 exahash by the end of the year, including the recently announced 1.7 exahash Bitmain S19 Pro miners to be shipped in August 2022, which is obviously this month that we're in, increasing expected operating capacity to 6 exahash, I think, by the end of the year. And then they go into some backdrop information, and that's it. So obviously, it's really good news for Iris. And Iris has, let's see here, Iris has gone up pretty nicely today on the news. Obviously, 14.56% up on the day. So that's obviously a huge win, obviously, for investors and for the company as well. Now, just waiting on the July update. Once we get that, I'll provide that information to you guys once I get it all. The next one is obviously Marathon provided their Q2 financial update. However, they did not provide their 10Q filing yet, which I'm waiting to get so I can get all the current assets, current debt, future debt, basically all debt, everything else. So I can do a proper presentation for you guys. They did provide obviously some numbers here, and they did provide some information as far as July 22 updates a little bit, and it's a little bit cryptic here. They did provide total Bitcoin holdings increased. Let me see here. Where was it? Nope, that wasn't it. Year to date, here it is. So year to date through July 31st, produced 2,038 Bitcoin, a 50% increase over the same time period in last year. But they didn't actually provide any information as far as what did they mine in July. So you got to run the numbers on it, see what they actually mined through June, subtract that from this number here to figure out what they actually mined. And it looks like they're still at possibly 600 petahash, I believe, right now in their mining facility. Let's take a look at it here. I think I started doing a little bit of the work here. Yeah, so in July, it looks like about 81 Bitcoins were mined. So we'll get into it all, obviously, when I have more information on it. And hopefully I'll get the SEC filings tomorrow that I can go over, and then we'll go over it thoroughly as far as what they actually earned, what the revenue was, what their debt is, what their assets are, what their equity is, and everything else. We'll get into all that tomorrow, and I think we might have some more miners providing information as well. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Obviously, this is going to be I'll probably post this tomorrow morning because it's so late already. It's probably like, what is it? It's almost 11 o'clock right now. So I'll post it tomorrow morning around 6 or 7 o'clock for you guys. That way you guys have all day to take a look at it. And then we'll discuss, obviously, if we get the information from Iris and Mara is what I'm really looking forward to, is getting all that information. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. Also, the spreadsheets, as always, are available to my Patreon members. Thank you to all of those folks over there for their continued support. It means a world to me. And that's it. Well, I'll see you guys in the next one. I hope you guys have a great day, great week. Yeah, we'll see you in the next one.